When it comes to insects, you'll find two types of people. One type becomes frightened and panicked even if they see an insect near them and might even scream, especially if the insect is a flying cockroach, in which case the situation turns into a horror movie. The other type has a brave heart and is always ready to strike with a slipper at any time, but this applies to insects in our days. In the age of giant insects, neither a brave heart, nor a slipper, nor even a stick would have been of any use. Insects, we thank God they are extinct. Arthropleura. Despite being called millipedes or thousand-foot worms, and despite the existence of thousands of species, not a single species actually has 1,000 feet, except for one species discovered in Western Australia in 2020. This species not only has 1,000 feet, but actually has more than 1,300 feet, and it was named true millipedes. This type of worm belongs to the class of arthropods, and most of its species live on decomposing leaf litter and other dead plant material. Some feed on fungi or plant fluids, and a few feed on small insects. Despite not posing a danger to humans or generally causing fear, except for being a pest in homes or gardens, their presence on a human body would be enough to frighten many, despite their small size. The largest species of these worms can grow to be between 27 centimeters and 38 centimeters long, or about 1.5 feet to 2 feet. But in the age of giant insects, the story was entirely different. Arthropleura had a width, not length, of up to half a meter, and the length easily exceeded 2 meters, making it the largest invertebrate. Meganeuropsis, the largest flying insect known to humans throughout history, was an insect known as Meganeuropsis. This insect resembled the dragonflies known today in shape, but the resemblance was limited to appearance only. In terms of size, the story was completely different. The dragonflies in our time had an average length ranging from 2.5 centimeters to 10 centimeters, while the length of Meganeuropsis reached 47 centimeters, almost half a meter. It can be imagined that the distance between its wings was up to 70 centimeters, while the largest contemporary dragonflies do not exceed a distance of 13 centimeters between their wings. These insects lived near water bodies such as streams and ponds, and it is not surprising that their main diet consisted of insects, amphibians, and small vertebrates, given their size and serrated legs. According to the discovered fossils, which are now located at the Museum of Comparative Zoology at Harvard University, scientists believe that the lifespan of these insects was relatively short, and that their existence was limited to a period from the late Carboniferous to the early Permian, approximately 317 million years to 247 million years ago. It is believed that the Earth's atmosphere at that time, especially during the Carboniferous period, contained a high percentage of oxygen, reaching around 35% compared to 21% in the present day. This helped the growth of these insects to their enormous size, making them the largest flying insect in history. The giant horntail wood wasp, also known as Meganeura, existed around 53 million years ago in North America, specifically in the northernmost parts of Canada. This species of wasp was characterized by a length more than 13 times the length of today's wasps. It should be noted that this type of wasp does not sting or bite, which may seem surprising when observing the stinger-like structure at the end of its body. The truth is that this part is not stinging at all. It is actually a tube used for egg-laying. Simply put, this insect poses no danger to humans, but it represents a destructive threat to trees. These insects primarily feed on wood. The female lays her eggs in tree cavities, and when the eggs hatch, the larvae use certain secretions to transform these tunnels into something resembling agricultural land or a garden, where they plant fungi that they feed on. These fungi release plant toxins that affect the tree's immune system and ultimately lead to its death. The sea scorpion, also known as Jackalopterus, is not necessarily related to the small venomous scorpions found on land today. It belongs to a group of extinct aquatic arthropods that lived millions of years ago. So far, scientists have discovered over 200 species of these creatures and classified them into 18 different families. However, a recently discovered one of the strangest types of them all is the fossils of giant claws in Germany, which indicated a new species of these scorpions named Jackalopterus. According to scientists' estimates, the size of this creature made it the largest known member of the arthropod phylum throughout the ages. This phylum includes insects, arachnids, crustaceans, and other arthropods. The length of this type of sea scorpion is estimated to be around 2.5 meters, making it taller than the tallest adult human. Each of its claws measures about half a meter in length. These strange creatures lived in rivers and lakes during the Silurian period, more than 400 million years ago. These scorpions were a nightmare for everything around them, thanks to their serrated claws, capable of crushing and slicing any prey that fell into their grasp. Regarding the reason for their extinction, scientists believe it may be related to a shortage of their primary food sources, such as fish, or to being preyed upon by stronger and more ferocious predators than themselves. Giant ants, scientifically known as Titanomyrma, are an extinct species of giant ants that lived around 50 million years ago during the early Eocene epoch. These ants inhabited regions that now include Europe and North America and were characterized by their enormous size, with worker ants reaching over 5 centimeters in length and queen ants weighing around 1.4 grams, making them comparable in size to a small hummingbird. According to scientist Bruce Archibald, who discovered many important fossils of this species, these ants lived in tropical and subtropical regions that covered most of Europe and North America at that time. With the changing climate and cooling of the northern regions, some colonies of giant ants attempted to migrate southward through land bridges that connected the continents during that period. Despite the initial success of some of these colonies in adapting to the new conditions and migrating to North America, the ongoing climate changes and difficulties in finding sufficient resources ultimately led to the complete extinction of this ant species. This story gives us an insight into how climate change can impact wildlife and how living organisms can adapt or fail to adapt to these changes. The Anomalocaris, also known as the bizarre shrimp, was a simple and extraordinary type of crustacean that ruled the ancient seas around 500 million years ago. According to discovered fossils, many scientists believe that the Anomalocaris was the dominant predator in the primordial world. Its body was equipped like an unparalleled underwater war machine. It had a streamlined movement, with a fan-shaped tail and flexible side fins resembling wings on either side of its body, making it appear as if it were fluttering its wings while swimming. It hunted its prey with a pair of massive compound eyes protruding from either side of its head, each containing over 16,700 lenses, making its vision sharp and precise, a rare feature even today found only in a very limited number of arthropods. It is believed that it captured its prey with a pair of front appendages resembling hoses and armed with terrifying spines. Despite all these combat advantages, it became extinct, along with 81% of marine animal species, during the Permian-Triassic extinction event around 252 million years ago, known as the Great Dying. If you have any ideas for an episode, write them in the comments. And most of our episodes will be based on your comments. Peace.